Okay, I'm going to use a textbook example for you to get started on. And I'm on page 57 in your textbook. I don't know if you can see this very clearly, but I've got it ready to go for us. And I'll just briefly take you through some ideas that are primarily designed for the TI-84, but the concepts are still applicable to any other calculator as well. So what we have here is a data set that has years and price per barrel in dollars. You want to pay close attention to the fact that in Part A they would like us to label the year 2000 as the year 0. One reason for that is if you get too large of numbers, say 4 digits, you're going to be asking for trouble with round-off error, and this minimizes that amount of error when you go to use the equation on paper. So what I want to do is enter that data in as carefully as I can, and to do that I'm going to take you to a calculator emulator here if I can find it. There we go. And I'm going to take this window off here so we can see everything a little better here. Okay, so step one, let's get good data in. And by the way, I've got a recipe here for you that you might want to write down. That has helped me over the years to be better at this kind of stuff. I call it the statistical plot recipe. We're going to enter in some quality data. If you even get one data point in there incorrectly, you're toast. And so notice I wrote down GIGO here, which stands for garbage in, garbage out. One data point that's put in incorrectly can totally throw off your equation. So that'll be our first step, and then I'll get to the other steps here in just a moment. Alright, so to enter some good data in, you might want to hit your stat package right off the bat, and you get an opportunity to hit edit, and you'll notice that you have what is similar to a Microsoft Excel layout. You have rows and columns. If you accidentally take a list off of there, say I accidentally go up to the top and hit delete, don't panic, you can get it right back by hitting second delete, which is the insert tool, and then coming down on your keyboard to L1 and hitting enter, and it'll bring that list back. And by the way, if you have any old data inside a list, always go up to the top and hit clear and then down arrow, and that'll clear out your data. You never want to try to type in old data on top of new, because if it's too long of a list you won't see it underneath and you could have a bogus data set as a result. Alright, so what we want to do next is capture that data correctly, and we'll do that by getting the calculator right on top of the textbook here. There we go. So I'm going to enter in not the year 2000, but I'm going to enter in 0 and 1 and so on. So feel free to pause this video at any time and try it out on your own calculator. So there's your list 1. Then I'm going to go right arrow and hop over to list 2 and type in the price per barrel. And we'll get those dollar amounts in there accurately. Okay, just 3 more data points. Transpose, so I'm going to get that back to being 0.27 and 46.84. So always proofread your data set, look it over, and make sure that it matches what you intended, and I think we are good to go there. Alright, so that is what I mean by entering in quality data. When I hit second quit, another way to proofread is to actually go to the list on your keyboard and look it over that way. So I'm going to hit second L1, second L2, and if you have a long data set, a really nice skill to have is to know how to look at it vertically. And I can hit second recall, that's second store, and then second L2, or I could have done second answer as well, and that gives me that list. It didn't give it to me vertically, and that might be because my mode is still in the math print. So I'm going to go back up here on this particular calculator and get it set to classic mode like we talked about in class, which is for me my favorite way of doing things with the classic. There we go. Now if I call that back, second enter, yeah, there we go, L1, L2, L2, and then second recall L2. Now watch the difference this time. As I hit enter, it does a screen wraparound. And it's just a nice way to proofread, especially if you have dozens of data points and you don't want to scroll always to your right to look at everything. But not a big issue. All right, second part to our recipe. Let me take you back to Word here. In step 2, what you want to do is clear out any old equations that are in your editor. That's easy to do. You would simply go into your y equals. If you have any equations, either turn them off by going over to the equality and hitting enter, or just hit clear and get them out of there. Step 3 is we want to set up the plot. Now, this is the crucial part. You can't do a statistical plot unless you have it set up correctly. So we will bounce into stat plot by hitting second y equals. That's stat plot right up there. We'll turn into plot 1 here, and I'm going to hit the enter key to turn it on, and I'll go down arrow. It's a scatter plot, and you have 6 different choices, by the way, but that's the one we want to do. And then L1, L2 are looking good, and then you have 3 different choices of a icon to use, a mark, either the square, the crosshair, or the dot. I rarely use the dot. It's hard to see, so I usually go with the square or the, let's try the crosshair for variety's sake. Okay, so I think we're good there. And then step 4, we want to get a good window. And the best way that I know of is to take advantage of the zoom tools. I'm going to hit zoom and go up arrow. It's a little quicker that way, if I remember right. And I can get up to zoom stat, I believe it's called. There it is, zoom stat. So it's number 9. So it'll be quicker in the future to just hit the number 9 on your keyboard. Zoom stat's pretty amazing because it'll build you a window based on your data. So when I hit enter, there we have it. It's built us a window, and those data points are traceable. If I hit trace, I can go left to right and check out all the different data points that were typed in. And what it really did is it created a window that would capture the vast majority of those data points. It did it automatically for us. Customize window, every once in a while you need to expand your window to the right, to the left, or up or down, and so that's what I mean by that. So that is how you get a graph of a statistical plot of the data points. And in part 2's tutorial, what we'll do is we'll talk about regression. Thanks for visiting.